Hi everyone, Pat here. Welcome to this week's Charting from Blank episode. Been a while since I've done one of these, but I'm looking at getting them back into the weekly rotation here on my YouTube. This week we're looking at grass, episode 58. Let's get into the video. Before I start, this video is for informational purposes only and reflects my personal views. It's not financial advice. Please always consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. So grass, a AI coin, essentially something that has connection to AI. And with the Nvidia earnings yesterday, we've seen a few AI coins start to move up today. Market's sort of clinging on to any sort of narrative it can get itself into right now. So shorting or trying to fade coins with narratives floating around them is definitely a difficult situation. Given the market is in a downtrend, then I would say that favoring this move up, you know, we can see that it's almost 60% on the day. 60% on the day and quite a nice pump, and as of right now just kind of looks like a move that is going to retrace, but obviously we're going to go into it with a fresh open mindset. Going to take a look at the chart and see what plans we can come up with for a fresh position on grass. And right now my outlook remains that I think the top gainer of the day, it tends to be tomorrow's top loser. This is just my outlook, and the moment has been working out for the past few weeks. So with that in mind, with grass being one of the top gainers, if we go to my Bybit put list, we can see it's the third top gainer today. So essentially actually looking for a reversal on this today and holding a swing or short into tomorrow. That's just sort of how my outlook goes on these coins. So we're starting the higher time frame. We can clearly see, as I mentioned, you know, we are in that higher time frame downtrend on grass, right? It's in this lower high downtrend, and until we see a good shift above sort of like 1.2, we have to consider that grass is going to make a lower high somewhere and leg back down. We can use simple sort of market structure techniques to highlight this area, and we can see that right now grass is retesting back towards this weekly support area. I like to call it step down price action. You would have seen me use this a lot in my Charting from Blank episodes. But essentially what you will find is that price will form a support area, form a base area, and then once that base breaks, rejects, right, form a support area, price breaks down, sort of rejects, form a support area, price breaks down, rejects, right, and then again here we formed a support area, weekly support, and now we're moving back into that area. So as of right now, I do think this looks like a pretty good bearish retest area for grass, and sort of backs up my idea that looking for a short up here seems like a good play. The only downside is obviously what I mentioned, the fact that there's a little bit of a narrative floating around in AI coins at the moment, simply based on the Nvidia earnings beating estimations yesterday. So we've seen AI coins do well today, but if anything, this is just probably setting us up for a good short scenario. So we go on the daily as well. We can see how this daily area is going to be a difficult spot for grass. And highlight this region here. We can take a look at the volume profile, see how the volume profile looks like. High volume in towards 7.6. Sort of what we have is that range area, and then within that range we have that high volume node point of control around that 7.6 area. You know, that's just mostly from this price action from this range that was formed on grass. It doesn't go all the way back to here because it was quite an illiquid move through that level. See, I do think it makes sense to look for a short on grass anywhere from sort of 6.6 into 7.6 for a reversal. And for obvious reasons, if grass did put in a reclaim above here, then you could almost guarantee it's going to break out much higher. You could see a much higher reversal and a larger reversal, and a daily close above sort of 7.6 would be the sign for continuation. Daily close above 7.6 for grass, then you could almost expect it to go to 1.2 and 1.6. Personally, right now, I expect this to be a bit of a rejection point for grass. If anything, probably looking at something along the lines of this, rejecting into this area and then falling short of a breakout. You know, always got to check back towards majors, taking a look at what BTC and ETH are doing. If BTC looks like it's bottoming, then potentially trying to short one of the top gainers of the day does not work out. But while BTC is trending down, and whilst these altcoins are scamming up, it does make sense to look for shorts and look for a reversal, given the higher time frame is down. As we discussed, the weekly trend is down, the daily trend is down, the 3-day trend is down. On the 4-hour, we sort of are backfilling that 10-10 liquidation cascade, right? That breakdown in 10-10, we're sort of backfilling that imbalance right now. I would prefer a cleaner retest of that sort of a support area. That would be the most ideal setup, right? Clean retest back towards that daily, that weekly level. And right now, this doesn't really look like it's slowing up. What we're going to do, we're going to head over to my VWAP indicator, and we'll see if there's anything on there that is worth us mentioning and potentially highlighting also a rejection into this region. So now looking at my VWAP, we can see that grass is trading towards the developing yearly value area low. Recently was that rejection point for it back here, and equally we're trading into it again. So a good place for a rejection, and as long as we are trading below this developing yearly value area low, we should be good for grass to roll over once again. Also trading towards the quarterly value area high here. Highlight it. Quarterly value area high here. First time this quarterly value area high has been tested since we broke down back at the start of October. So looking for a bit of a reversal up here. As long as we do continue to trade below this developing quarterly value area high, we're probably looking at for a reversal back down towards the VWAP, and then maybe even as low as 0.3 in the near term, near to midterm at least. Taking a look at the monthly, we have the prior monthly value area high up here towards 7.8. Here we have the prior monthly VWAP, which we're currently floating around, and then the prior monthly value area low down here towards 0.42. So we're sort of ping-ponging at the moment above this 0.59 area. I wouldn't be surprised to see us spike up one more time, given we are trading above the prior monthly VWAP. I wouldn't be surprised to see us spike up one more time in towards this sort of 0.785 area for grass. If we go back to the chart, that 0.76 level was the region to look for a short. I think that's definitely quite a greedy place to look for a reversal on grass, but overall a safe place. Looking for a short and a reversal. If we were to trade up into there, I think that should at least give a good reaction. The only downside to that is that we are trading below this quarterly value area high and also the developing yearly value area low. So personally, it does make sense to see a reversal from here. I do think if that as a safer option, that 0.76 area looks good, but I think you could probably front run it a little bit in towards this 0.67 weekly support area with an invalidation above the. So what I mean by that is probably shorting in towards here with a stop above that high volume node point of control, looking for a reversal back down. Take a look at the weekly VWAP. Weekly VWAP right now continuing to trade above that developing weekly value area high. Probably a good spot for a bounce here on grass in general. 5 minute said score fairly oversold into this developing weekly value area high. Ideally, we can bottom here on grass and look for a bounce to short in towards that 0.68 all the way to a 0.77 region. Again, we'll be using my VWAP indicators to give me a signal on a short. That's sort of how I roll on these shorts at the moment, and we'll be posting my my trade once I take it within the Wealth Group Discord. But overall, this looks good for a bounce on grass from here into 0.7. Anywhere from 0.6 to 0.7, 0.78, I'm going to be looking for triggers for a reversal as we trade below the developing yearly developing quarterly value area high. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this week's Charting from Blank episode. Overall, grass is looking like it's in a downtrend. Don't get sucked into these big intraday pumps. If anything, they're fantastic opportunities for us to look for a short. Look for a short anywhere from 0.67 to 0.76. Personally, I will start looking for a short in towards 0.66 and above. Looking for some short triggers on my VWAP indicators. As always, I'm sharing my trades within the Wealth Group Discord. And if you did like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure you check out the link at the top of the description to join up to the Discord. Catching some bangers at the moment on shorts and continuing to trade really well on all these scam pumps, offering some really good opportunities for shorts. Like I said, don't get sucked into these moves. A lot of them are going to full retrace over time, and it's just about timing them correctly. If you have any requests for next week's Charting from Blank episode, please let me know and leave it in the comments. Catch you guys then. Bye bye.